Hello and welcome. My name's Ken. I'm a lifelong Newcastle United mad supporter, and this is my Inside the Toon and scrapbook for the match against Club Athletic Bilbao, who we played back in 1993-94 season and cemented a lifelong friendship with the people of Bilbao. And this is our fourth Champions League game of this league series. It runs through to the end of January. We're home against Bilbao. I predicted a 2-1 win. And as you saw from the earlier first page, it was a 2-0 win to Newcastle. Third clean sheet. And everybody was incredibly happy and relieved that our Champions League form continued while our Premier League away form is pretty dire at the moment. But we'll talk about that on Sunday against Brentford away. So Bilbao, Spanish club, come to us with open arms. They've had a fantastic couple of days in the city. My nephew saw some of them coming up from Dover. He was down for the West Ham match and stayed at Brighton and came back on the Monday. And there were a few of those on the train at that point, back to Newcastle. So I think they embraced and had a great time in the city, as did most of the Newcastle Toon supporters and the Spanish lads as well. So Newcastle were home to Athletic Club Bilbao, and as I said earlier, it all began back in 1994, as the story goes, and there was an Athletic Club supporter missed their transport back to Bilbao after the first leg at Newcastle, and this story was told by Adam Stoker to Sky Sports recently. He said they were put up by a family here, and the story goes back to Bilbao about the hospitality that was offered to them and the warmth that they received. So when the Newcastle fans turned up in Bilbao, it was fantastic. Every supporter was welcomed with open arms. You mingled in the streets. There was no hassle. Everybody got on well, and the drinks flowed. And at the end of the match, Bilbao fans came on the pitch and headed towards the Newcastle end. And then when they got close, they just stood and applauded, and the Newcastle supporters applauded back. And as you can see from the flags now, that's how this relationship was cemented and has lasted all these years. Fantastic. So let's look at the team that Eddie put out on Wednesday evening. Prior to the match, in his pre-match conference call, he said that there seemed to be a lot of illness going on throughout the squad in the last few days, and Sandro had picked this up, and Jacob Murphy, and Bruno, and Kieran Trippier. So he was going to make a decision on Bruno tomorrow, on the Wednesday, which he did. And as you can see from the team, it was pretty much the team that you'd expect him to put out. And so the changes that you thought that was going to happen, maybe because of the performance on the weekend against West Ham, did not happen. So the view was Champions League form to continue. On the bench, we had a few players. Asula didn't actually make it. He was sitting in the crowd in the second half. He's got a niggle as well, or been carrying a niggle. Hall was back on the bench. Shah was on the bench. Elanga, Jacob Murphy, Willock, Alex Murphy, the fullback, Ramsey, signing from Villa, and Lewis Smiley. So a lot of expectation. And he stuck with his first team choice, which is what he's allowed to do. And we were all sitting and waiting for the match to kick off and see how it ended. And as you can see, we won. We won 2-0. So Eddie got it right. Let's see how it went then, shall we? So Eddie, in his programme notes, had the following to say. He had quite a lot to say, to be honest. Besides the usual welcome of the away team and their manager and their squad to St James's, he complimented on them being a very experienced side, which is standard speak for a match programme. He talked about in our last home game against Spurs in the Carabao Cup, we took the opportunity to rotate the squad and give some minutes to some players that had not got the first team minutes previously, and we were rewarded when Fabian Schär gave us the lead, because he's not got back into the team with Chow and Botman being the first team choices now, and with Dan Burn sitting there at left back, which a lot of people don't like, but he produces the goods, as you will see. So pretty keen, pleased about that, and the clean sheet and the up and coming Fulham notes. So he was quite excited about everything. And then he talked about the West Ham performance. Oh boy, did he talk about the West Ham performance in his programme notes. It basically focused on our return to the Premier League and travelling down to London to face West Ham. He said we made a full start, or a fast start, when Jacob Murphy scored an excellent goal, and we looked to build on the lead. He says we know that if we drop our high standards, we set ourselves up to fail, and in this case, we did. He said he couldn't really fault the players' commitment or work ethic, but we didn't manage to hit the levels that we've previously shown in the 3 away matches. Even though we're not scoring a lot, we're not really letting any goals in, but today we let 3 in. The last one you can kind of discount because we were just pressing for that goal. Dan Burn was playing centre forward by then, I think. He praised, he thinks we've got a incredibly strong dressing room, which is true. They're full of good professionals who deserve the praise that's been given them in recent times. But importantly, you should never shy away from learning from your setbacks, and that's really the mantra in his programme notes. He said the process began immediately after the game on the training pitch, and he said the beauty of the fixture list is that we don't have to wait long for the second match, which is very, very true. And it's great not to have to sit there for a whole week pondering, wondering what's going to happen next. So the match began, and it was a bit cat and mouse for the first 10 or 15 minutes, quite scrappy, to be honest. And then we took the initiative after about 11 minutes. Incredible header from Dan Burn. The swerve on it to get it into the goal. If you look at the angle on the picture, it should be heading to the corner flag, but it didn't. Fantastic goal. Really pleased. 29 minutes, Nick had an attempted header from the centre of the box, which missed. And then Anthony Gordon, who had been out of sorts for some time now, was holding his hip for the last 3 or 4 minutes before he was hoisted off, injured, and Jacob Murphy came on. Then in the 42nd minute, we had a great chance. Joe Linton had a great chance. Right foot shot from the left side of the box, and it was saved in the centre of the goal by the athletic goalie. So momentum-wise, we pretty much controlled the game. They had a spell just after we scored, as you can see from the attacking momentum chart on this page. But otherwise, we were in control of this match and should have been at least a 2-up, maybe pushing it to get to 3, I think. They had a couple of chances as well, to be fair to them. So Big Joe Linton had been fairly sort of criticised for his performance on Sunday. Not the same Joe that we know. Still getting angry at times and not really concentrating on his game. But tonight he was on his game. Absolute stunning header. And when the goal went in, that was it. The game, as far as I was concerned, was over. I could not see us conceding the goal, and it was the comfort blanket that we all needed. Eddie said Joe needed a score. He's always been a scorer of big goals for us. We worked on it. We need our 8 and wide men to start chipping in, and Big Joe did. Great celebrations as well. Fantastic header, and 2 great headers in this match. So by the 49th minute, we were 2-0 up. So after Big Dan Burn and Big Joe Linton scored the goals with their heads, the match finished 2-0 to Newcastle. Very satisfying win after the performance away to West Ham. The bench was strong tonight. Makes it 3 wins on the bounce without conceding a goal in the Champions League. The table looks really, really good with Newcastle in 6th place. We controlled the ball today. We controlled the game. Tonali was supreme and deserved his man of the match at the end. We made the chances. They didn't make any big chances. And we finished with some superb goals. Memorable nights. Really happy for the team and glad to be part of this journey that we're on now. And as the saying goes now, bend it like Burn. He's from Blythe. After the match, Eddie had a lot to say in the interviews that took place. He was really pleased with today. It was an important response to West Ham. We had a quick turnaround for this game. I don't think it was that we were at our best, but we're in a good position now in this competition. He likes the format. Felt that we've learnt a lot. More games, but it's bigger test when you return to the Premier League. It's been good to have a game off the back of West Ham, and we put away, and we scored 2 goals tonight. He then went on to say he doesn't really know the extent of Anthony Gordon's hip injury yet. That'll be discovered over the next few days, but it's been there for some time now because Eddie used the word plague. Danber's header, he thought it was very similar to the cup final, which I believe it was. It was a training ground move, so 1 up for the coaches. On Joe Linton's header, he felt he needed to score. He's always been a scorer for the club. He always scores big goals. And it was a great evening. So next up, we go away to Marseille, which is going to be really, really difficult. A place that I've been to, where we lost with Bobby Robson in the team. And just be safe there when you go. I'm not going this time, but be safe, please. As the banner says, you'll never ever beat Dan Burn. He's from Blythe. Timmy Krul, Newcastle goalie from the past, said to be able then to play a Champions League game like they did against Bilbao tonight is a massive win. Newcastle won a challenge in every competition. We're in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, 3 wins on the bounce in the Champions League, and a great pair of headers tonight from Dan and Joe Linton powered Newcastle to victory over the Athletic Club from Bilbao. Some great pictures, fantastic feeling when Dan went in and we went 1-0 up in the 11th minute. And then afterwards, Bruno and Eddie Howe smiling and sharing a word or two. Great evening, great for Dan. Dan was in demand after the match, as you would guess, speaking with TNT Sports. He said it's huge. We said we wanted to respond, and we have. And I knew we'd turn up today. We controlled large parts of the game, and we got 9 points now. I've been due a goal, one for a while, and then when it came, I decided I would head it as hard as I could. We've been working on the move. We knew we'd have some space around the back, and at least it was a good header. Understatement, a fantastic header. So brilliant. And he was happy and buzzing that Joe Linton also scored a great goal. So he'll play any position for Newcastle, he said. I love playing centre-back. It's my best position. I like playing left-back, and I get up to go up and down, but it's tough on the legs. So we have some home games now. We were unlucky in the Barcelona one. We have some away ones coming up in the near future. And finally, if you enjoyed this video, there's also some great Newcastle United fan-led YouTube channels. And this is just a quick view. It's not a complete list of what was put out on Wednesday evening. The Toon review, Magpie channel, Rob's Urbanstein, Adam P, Alice, the Manu lady, who just loves Joe Linton and Chow, thinks they're fantastic. Likes Newcastle as well. The Geordie Journos, we're up for it tonight. Keith Downey, giving out praise. And then the Newcastle Fans TV put a couple out as well, which were entertaining. So not a complete list, but a few that caught my eye today. Next up, Brentford away on Sunday to look forward to. And let's hope we change the format and win away. So thank you for watching. I thoroughly enjoy putting this together. I have a lot of fun. It's my way of staying in touch with Newcastle. I don't get to see them at home very often these days, maybe once or twice a season. My brother and his family are season tickets holders up there now. I'm not. I gave up in the midway through the Ashley years. I got fed up. But no, cheers to Newcastle tonight. There were no traitors in the team. There were no slackers, and we won. Away the lads. Take care, and if you're going to Brentford, have a good time.